I hand it over to Anna, which will present Pillar 1 of the EUFAWREADY project.
Good morning. Could you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So I can skip the presentation of the pillars because Natalie already presented the idea of pillar learner. Just a quick brief overview. So we have a double objective, collecting more knowledge on the traits of European fall armyworm population and perform an impact assessment, mainly focused on economics and environmental impact. What are the relationship with the other pillars? So we get information from field sample by the pillar NetDet, and we give to this pillar information on potential distribution and the impacts of fall armyworm in Europe. And then to the pillar manage, we will give information about traits and population dynamics that could be useful to optimize control strategies. The pillar consists in two work packages. Work package 2, led by INRE, Dr. Ki Wong Nam, and it has 4 partners, BPA, ICAI, IE, UVA, and FORF. And then WP3, led by University of Brescia in Professor Gianni Giglioli, and we have as partner INREA and JKI. Get a little bit in deep in the 2 work package. The purpose of W2 is to answer to this kind of question. So what are the adaptive evolution that characterize the population invading Europe? What are the preference hosts in our continent? The impact of our temperature to the population. So are really they able to tolerate our climate, and where they can overwinter in Europe, and the aspects related to insecticide resistance. The work package is organized in 4 tasks. We have adaptive evolution, so we focus on population genomics, and we are interested in identifying the traits that contribute to fall armyworm invasion in Europe. And we are analyzing the origin of the population that are invading Europe, and we studied the identification of selective sweep targeting specifically for the EU population. In the second task, led by UVA, we are focusing on the preferred host plants by the EU for armyworm population. So field survey are performed in Greece to collect wild and cultivated plants that are actually infected by fall armyworm in that region. There is a lab experiment focusing on larval performance on larvae that are growth on South Europe plants. It's also a transcriptome analysis will also be performed to analyze the larva feeding of different plant species. The last activity of this task is the investigation of microbial effects of larvae of preference, focusing on the impact on adult mate preference and oviposition choice. The third task is thermal tolerance. So BSA will be performed in Greek fall armyworms population, and we are interested in investigating the impact of thermal stress on the performance, on the fitness of the population, and the ability to defend against natural enemy. And also the overwintering capacity will be investigated in this task. The last task is insecticide resistance. So experimental laboratory will be performed to test insecticide resistance, and the results will be implemented in the OAA pesticide resistant database and the EPO database is related to insecticide resistance. The last activity of the task will be the identification of the causal genes and molecular characterization. So, as you can see, it's a quite complex work package. Who are the audience, the target audience of this work package? So the evolutionary trigger will be information useful to prevent the spread to the Central Europe. The information on preferred host plant and thermal host tolerance will allow to fine-tune the pest monitoring survey. The interaction between temperature and fans and the information on insecticide resistance will improve pest management strategies. So more focus on effective biocontrol and to reduce insecticide use. This is a quite complex slide, so I don't want to get bored you. But what are the relationship with the other WP work package? So this work package will give information on semiochemical receptor, the range of host plant and the thermal tolerance that are used by the WP3 to calibrate and validate the model on entry, spread, and establishment. The insecticide resistance marks for molecular and meters for insecticide resistance will be used for the assessment of pest management and for the definition of early detection and monitoring protocol. The information for the development of biopesticide will be used for explore plant-based and natural semi-chemical solution. And finally, the information to evaluate risk management, plant health, and guidelines will be provided to WP8 for the IPM toolbox and the plant health guidelines. The other WP, so the other work package, is evaluating the impact of an invasion by fall armyworm for Europe. It is a more focused model work package. So we have three main objectives: define the scenario of entry and spread of the pest in Europe, assess the potential establishment and abundance, and assess the impact both from an economic perspective, focusing on micro and macro impact, and from an environmental perspective, analyze the environmental health and the human and ecosystem impact. As you can see, the modeling framework is quite complex. We have different models targeting a different answer. So we will cover all the phases of the species invasion process. So we have model more related to the entry. So we analyze the pathway model and the natural spread model. Then we will develop a model for the establishment. That is a population dynamics model analyzing the population at different stages of the pest. The spread model, both human and wind-mediated spread. And finally, the impact framework that is composed by the economic model, micro and macro, and environmental model, focusing on human, environment, ecosystem services. How you can exploit this complex modeling framework, mainly for the different scenarios, so test different scenario and the impact of different scenario of entry and management, and also to test the efficacy of the IPM protocol that will be developed by the project. The target of our results, so the work package will deliver a maps of the risk of entry and spread in EU that can be used to improve the detection and the surveillance protocol. We will deliver maps of potential distribution and abundance of fall armyworm under different management scenarios that can be used to support the decision on effective management and to improve monitoring strategies. We will deliver a table of potential impact that can be used for the cost-benefit management decision. And lastly, the tables on potential environment impacts that are a critical tool to take into account environmental and human health when management or phytosanitary measure is implemented. the connection with other work package. So I already presented the output, and they are more related to work package that are focusing on the management strategy. So 5, 6, and 7, and the impact will be delivered to WP8 for the IPM toolbox and the plant health guidelines. Thank you.